Hey guys, Midnight Range TM here. Thanks for visiting the channel. We're going to do a little breakdown of a tenderloin today. Something a little different. Not going to be a recipe today, but it's actually going to be a little instructional video. Something simple that a lot of people may find daunting, but we're going to show you how to do it and how to break down some of your own steaks. Hey guys, Midnight Range TM here. Thanks for visiting the channel. We're going to do a little breakdown of a tenderloin today. Something a little different. Not going to be a recipe today, but it's actually going to be a little instructional video. Something simple that a lot of people may find daunting, but we're going to show you how to do it and how to break down some of your own steaks. All right. So a lot of people are really scared to break down their own meats. I apologize for any background noise. There's people running around all over the place here, but I was about to do this and I thought, let's do it for the channel. A lot of people are afraid to break down their own stuff. They think, what if I screw it up? Or, they don't want to make bad cuts, or they're worried about cutting themselves or something. Who knows? But it's really fairly easy, especially when you're doing it at home, and it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. But so this is a whole Angus tenderloin of beef. We're going to be cutting some filet mignons out of it. And because we know we're going to cut steaks out of it, I'm actually going to trim the tip here, or the tail. Throw that off to the side. You can use a boning knife. I generally use a chef's knife because I'm used to using chef's knives. And that's cool if you're comfortable. If you're not, use a boning knife. Either way is fine. If you have a chef's knife that's a Santoku style blade, it generally wouldn't work quite as well. It's nice to have the traditional tip. So we're gonna, if you can see, there's a separation here. We're actually gonna take that separation straight down all the way back. Just kind of peel it off and you'll see the membranes separate, the two muscles separate. This is called the chain. All right, we're going to come all the way back, and then this kind of rolls under a little bit. We're just going to follow it down under there and give it a full trim. Now, a lot of places, if you go to the grocery store or whatever, they won't trim this off here, this part. They'll leave that attached. And then you have that silver skin. It's called silver skin. And I'll show you that on the other side too, in between the two muscles. And that's fine for home. If you want to leave that, leave it, and you just leave it attached, clean it all up, and you can cut those couple of steaks out of it. At the restaurant, we don't want that. We want a nicer product, so we take that all off, and we use it for specials or whatever. Again, there's a secondary muscle here. It's kind of fillet, sort of shaped like that. This little guy is fine for a steak. But in between, there's also some silver skin, what you might call sinew. Okay, so we're just gonna again follow it down, sort of open it up, and you're just following the muscles. Now, obviously, it's rounded. Hoping you can see this. It's a little weird angle, but it's kind of hard to get a good angle and still be able to maneuver. Okay, then you get to the back, and we're just gonna give it a trim straight through. Okay, and then just clean this up a little bit. Okay. Okay. So, again, you can see there's a separation here, a little bit of a sinew that runs down through there. So what I do is where it splits, where it starts to open up there, I'll make a cut. And that way you don't have that. Now when you clean that, you can see it's got good silver skin there. Get rid of that. And you'll make your first cut. Now you can cut a steak out of this. You can probably cut two steaks out of it at your home and you want them to be a little bit smaller. We cut an 8-ounce steak, so and do that. Trim everything off of there, and there's your first cut. first steak. Get out of here. Okay, now, so to clean this guy up, this is where the tenderloin is going to meet the ribs. There is a little bit of silver skin there, and we want to trim some of the excess fat off. Again, you don't have to do this. This is something that you can leave on there if you're the kind of person that likes, the little fattiness left on there. Fingers up out of the way. Careful, careful. And we're just going to sort of skim that off. Trash. Okay. Again. Now you want to go. Now, if you remember, this is the end that had this part. Okay. This is the tip. You want to peel. Towards. We'll call it the thumb. It was like this. You want to peel this way, so you can just sort of lift it up. Peel this. It's almost like a membrane. It just peels right off. And then once you get underneath that, then you're going to be working with the silver skin. So you want to kind of just fillet underneath it, and then you can pull it right back. You can actually pull it straight back. And just sort of fillet it off, pull it straight back. And this is the best way to do it without losing any meat. If you get under there with your knife and try and cut it like this, unless you're really decent with a knife, you're going to end up taking chunks. And you're going to have waste. So you don't want that. So, and again, if you want to use a boning knife, use a boning knife. Just kind of get under there. Start to slice it back, and then you can pull it right back. And see how it's nice and smooth, nice and clean. A lot of people have trouble with this. They don't really know this part, and they end up digging in there and taking chunks, and you lose these nice chunks of meat. And then as you come back towards the end, then you just kind of follow underneath it. Just sort of shaving it off almost. Pull it, shave it. Gosh. All right. You're left with a little bit of this membrane here. That's fine. There's no silver skin underneath that. You could leave that there if you want, or just kind of peel it off. See, it pulls right off. Leaving that on is actually really nice because that's just a really, really thin membrane of almost like fat, like caul fat, C-A-U-L fat. That's not caul fat, but that's kind of what it would act like if you left it on there. It would just kind of melt, keep it moist. So now we're left with a nice, boneless, trimmed filet, tenderloin of beef, to cut into filet mignons. Cut them any size you want, and you're ready to go. So that's just a quick little down and dirty video on how to clean a tenderloin. You can save a lot of money this way if you want to do it for the holidays, and you want to save yourself a couple bucks a pound. Definitely do this, and you get all the scraps. Generally, when I do one tenderloin this size and I cut it into 8-ounce steaks, the scraps that I get from this are over a pound of tips. Some of them are a little thin, some of them are chunks. But so basically, you've cut all this, you cut it all into steaks, you save yourself the money on the steaks, and you get over a pound of trimmings that you can use for whatever, sandwiches or soup or whatever. That's what's so awesome about doing stuff yourself. So thanks for visiting the channel, Midnight Range TM. I hope I took a little bit of the mystery out of doing something like this. It works for any tenderloin. You could do it for pork, you could do it for bison, you could do it for anything. So they're all the same. Thanks for visiting the channel. I'll see you next time. Check me out on Patreon if you want to help the channel out a little bit. And check out the other videos. There's a lot of cool stuff, guns and food. If you don't already know about it, check out gunchannels.com. Awesome place. And Sundays, 10:30 Eastern, is my live chat. Question and answer, food and guns. Sometimes turns into a free-for-all, but it's always a good time. So bring your questions there, and we'll talk about it. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.